Okay. And welcome back. We are in our, what is this? One, two, three, four, five, fourth season
Yes.
for our Better Man series. And we're excited about this one. I am, because Better Man series has gone to the gals. I'm so excited about this particular series and this particular season, because we get to talk about women, all leading up to Mother's Day, and a few surprises for you, where hopefully we'll be able to reach out and touch you. So this time, we are talking about motherhood, maternity, and we're talking about all that comes in between, before and after. And so, as you guessed it, we're going to be talking about fertility journeys, trying to conceive, or TTC for that community. Talking about loss, of course, as a process of life and death. And then we're going to talk about childbirth, or childbirth, pregnancy. And we're also going to talk a little bit about being a mother and what that is, all within the context of the Bible and, of course, lived experiences. Now, that being said, we are not the experts in any of those things. We're excited to be talking to you about biblical motherhood, and also about the journey, because a lot of women and men, they go through a journey of what it is to have a family. And some conversations can be really painful, and others can be really joyous and hilarious. And we try to take it all within stride. That being said, I'm going to do a few things different this time. But before I talk about that, I'm sure my husband has some things to say about mothers and the Bible.
Well, I'm definitely not an expert on motherhood, obviously. But yeah, I do have a few things to say. But I mean, do we want that in context of our banter, or should I just say some stuff off the top of the head?
Just say some stuff off the top of the head.
I think when we sat down to do this, like, a couple of things are coming to mind as I thought about motherhood. Number one was, the significance of what it even means to be a mother. Because we've looked at Adam and Eve.
Yes.
We've seen them start off as
Yes.
the first marriage.
Yes.
The first people
Yes.
on the earth. And then, of course, Eve is the first mother.
Yes.
And that didn't really come into being until she had her first son. And so motherhood, as I was thinking about it, I was seeing it as something that doesn't necessarily start when the baby comes forth, or when something's brought forth from the woman, but it starts at the moment of conception, when she's carrying something along, waiting for that day to bring it forth. And so these are just some thoughts that were coming to my mind.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and so do you want to chime in on that, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Is it okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm glad my husband brought that up, because I know for a lot of people, Mother's Day is a very sensitive time. And he said that motherhood starts when it's conceived in your heart. And so for all of you who are out here and listening to this, and perhaps you haven't physically given birth to someone or something, maybe you're a godmother, maybe you have fur babies. I know I have mine. Or maybe you've just had something in your heart for a very long time, and it was conceived and given to you by God himself. The motherhood journey that we're going to be talking about is spiritual. And we are really excited to be talking about that, because you don't necessarily have to have your baby on this side of heaven, or even a baby at all, to be able to participate in this conversation.
Yeah. And I think I'll also add, well, can I just get into it? I'll just add that Adam, after the fall,
Yeah.
He renamed the woman because she was first called woman because of his identification with her.
Yes.
He saw him as herself.
Yes.
He saw her as himself.
Yes.
And he identified with her, bone of bone, flesh of flesh. She shall be called woman. Relating to the fact that she came out of man, and that was an identity, and it was before, anything else, came forth in her life. But after the fall, he renamed her and he gave her the name Eve, saying that she is the mother of all things, or mother of all creation, something like that. And I think, I know we're going to go into motherhood, but I feel like when Adam did that, he almost tried to house a woman's value and significance in being a mother, like basically saying that her value is when she's able to be a mother. And I just want to say, before we get into the whole talk about motherhood, that that's not the significance and value of a woman. That a woman is far more than just being a mother. But being a mother is beautiful and significant in the fact that it's God's only way of bringing a man into the world, which makes her super special and super valuable. But motherhood in itself, or being able to, at least in the physical sense, isn't the only value of a woman. Because I know that I think I've watched movies, I think I've seen it in life where if for whatever reason that part isn't happening for a person, they're not bringing in a physical person through their body, they feel like they have no value. And that's absolutely not true. The woman, before she was even named Eve, she was valued in being seen as the same as the man, in a sense. He identified with her and said, wow, out of all the other creatures that's on the earth, this woman, this creature, is the only one that I can relate to on my level, because of who she is and what she is and where she's come from. And we can't leave out the fact that she was formed by the very hands of God. Yeah. Which makes her unique.
I love that. And for you, all too often, if you have not given birth, you're excluded out of that conversation on Mother's Day. We want to invite you in. We want to invite you in because you're a woman. And I will say a lot of the conversation that we're going to be having is around the stereotypical ideas of what being a woman is. However, there's much more, as my husband just said, that contextually comes out of the Bible and has nothing to do with assigned labels by man. It has everything to do with what God says. And so we're excited to start this conversation with you. There's just a few more things that I think you should know as we're going into this particular conversation, as we're going into this particular series and season, is that we're going to do something a little different. I want to hear from you. And this time, for real, I'm going to be taking stories and comments on our podcast. If you submit them and send them in to me, or send them into this channel, we will read them on air. You can feel free to be anonymous, and all stories are going to be anonymous, even if they're in the comment section, for anonymity and safety reasons. But then also, we want to hear, and we're calling this section that I'm going to read is with his grace. And so, or if you will, WHG, with his grace, is supposed to be a section where we, the viewers, the listeners and the readers, or the audience that we're talking to can give us their stories, and we talk about them in the context of the Bible. Now, you can just as easily send in questions, in which we'll take some of those if they're really good ones, or there seems to be a collection of those, where we'll be talking about the things that you've experienced, your lived experience with His grace. And for those of you who are watching and listening, you never know, you might hear some of your stories, and if not, some relatable stories. Share this message with your family and friends, and be willing to sit down and look at your life in the context of God's eyes. Second thing that I'm going to share is that we have a special event coming at the end of this series, where literally we want to reach out and touch you. Please stay tuned for after this particular episode and all the episodes to find how you can participate with us, join our event, and have some fun. Gosh, don't you want to have some fun? Like, it's so much going on in the world. I want to be able to have fun with you. Jeremy's ready to have fun with you. If you're living in this San Jose area, even if you're not, we would love to have you. And if you ask and comment, we'll give you a free code in order to get in. But that being said, it's a longer series, and our event is going to be Pilates, karate, dance in the park. And we're going to be doing that right here in sunny Silicon Valley, San Jose, California. And so Pilates, karate, and dance. And we're going to start off with prayer in the morning. And the first day of that is May 9th. That's Saturday, May 9th. We'll start early in the morning, and we'll be right in San Jose. So please stay tuned for more details after this. And the final thing is you all guessed it, you all heard it. We're launching a web series, and that series, Landmarks, is going to launch soon at the end of these podcasts. And we're excited about it. And so we want to encourage you and invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to Jeremy's YouTube channel, and stay tuned for the next episode dropping, tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, and we're excited to be joining you again for our Better Man series. As always, if we're connected with us on even a small level, we're excited to be talking with you about these conversations in hopes that it sparks conversations with your loved ones, family, friends, your community, but most importantly, God. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Bye.